Hi, lovelies. Let's talk about emotions, okay? Because I have found that one of the things that abuse does to us is it really gives us a very contorted understanding of what emotions are and their role in our lives. Chances are pretty high that if you were raised in an abusive and dysfunctional childhood, that you learned how to use emotions as a guide for your survival. Okay? You could walk into a room, and if you saw that one of your parents was angry or frustrated or fed up, even if they were that quiet, silent kind of rage, you knew that there was a chance that you weren't going to be safe. If you walked into a room and you saw that one of your parents was happy and they were relaxed and they were enjoying themselves, you knew that you were going to be safe. Okay, so you learned to kind of take the temperature of a room emotionally. I bet you do it even now. I know that I still do it. It's just autopilot for me. When perhaps in your marriage and you look for the emotional temperature of your partner, we learned to rely on emotions to tell us whether or not we were safe. Okay, and then we used what we learned. Okay, if our dad was angry, our mom was joyful, we then adjusted our behavior accordingly, right, in order to stay safe or avoid harm. And we probably still do the same thing today. If you go into a room full of your friends and they all seem uptight and just nervous or tense, maybe you tell some jokes. Maybe you try and make it better for everybody and smooth everything over because you've always been that fixer kind of person. We let emotions, which is what we learned as a child, drive our behavior. But see, the thing is that's not what emotions are intended to do. Emotions are simply messengers. Okay? Emotions are messengers. They are meant to sit in the back seat or ride shotgun in our decision-making system. They are not meant to drive the vehicle. Okay? It's a whole different way than how we functioned with emotions in our childhood. Okay, so let's look at an example. You run into a friend that you haven't seen in a while, and they are unkind and cutting and maybe even a little bit angry, which surprises us because we didn't think they had any reason to feel that way. So if our emotions are driving our behavior, we might try and smooth things over. We might internalize their anger and frustration and think that we did something wrong, which is going to color the rest of our day. But really, what's supposed to happen is we're supposed to take that emotion in and kind of go, this person is unpleasant right now. They seem upset. And I really don't want to deal with that right now. I want to take care of myself. So I'm going to say, thank you. Good to meet you. See you again. I'm going to leave. And we're not taking any of their emotion with us. If we go to the grocery store and we need some help with something, and the grocery clerk is kind and compassionate about whatever it is that we need, they're going to help us. That emotion tells us that these are good people to talk to, and maybe this is a grocery store that we need to go more often. Okay? Whereas if we go out and do something, we're going to try out a new sport, okay, or an activity. We're going to go rollerblading, even though that went out of style like 20 years ago. And we go and we are having so much fun. We are so happy. Okay? That happiness is the messenger that tells us that we like this activity and we should do it again. Okay? If it's an awful experience and we fall and we just work so hard but can't seem to figure it out, then that frustration is a messenger and tells us we perhaps don't want to do that again. It's not an emotion isn't telling us we're a terrible person and we're such a klutz. Instead, it's giving us feedback on the situation. Okay? The emotion doesn't drive the car, not like it did when we were a child. The emotion is simply a messenger giving us some information so that we can make decisions. We can decide whether we like something, whether we like someone, whether we want to take the right turn rather than the left turn at life. That's all it's meant to do, is to give us guideposts and give us directions. It is not supposed to make decisions in our life like it did when we were a child. So try and think about that as you go through your day and you feel emotions. Remember that they are simply, they're only messengers. That's it. They can't harm us. They can't hurt us. They're just there to provide us with feedback about things and people and circumstances that we encounter. That's all they're meant to do. Okay? So think about that. Emotions are messengers. They're there to give us feedback. They're not there to drive decisions that we make. And see if that helps you to feel more in control of your day and your life when you see emotions as just messengers.